Hey, welcome to ZILA Welds. ZILA's down here in Ark City, Kansas with me at Cali College and has been gracious enough to bring in some machines here, do a little pulse MIG on aluminum.
For everybody who's thinking that this is going to be a long and boring video and you might as well fall asleep, well, that's exactly how it's going to be. So here we go. So about 3 years ago, I visited Bob over in Ark City, and he gave the back then new Invertig 400 from HTP a little workout, and the ProPulse 300 as well. And we're building like a stand for holding a lecture in the classroom. So here we're cutting some, I say we, Bob is cutting some aluminum, and then cutting some more aluminum, and then prepping some aluminum, and then eventually we're gonna put it all together using MIG and TIG, and watch it grow, enjoy the show, and some smack talk.
Am I doing what?
Are you doing it all with the trigger?
Yes. It's so much easier.
So all the parts are ground, finished, tripods are set up, machines are set up, it started to get clamped down, material is cleaned up, oxide layer, the thick kind of oxide is removed. So now we can get to the point where, I don't know, the shenanigans start, I would say. Not the welding starts. This is like a total of 5 hours here. I need to condense this a little bit in a viewable format. And this video for sure is not going to be 5 hours long.
I'll intro if you want. You ready?
Sure. All right.
All rise. Court is now in service. The Honorable Peter ZILA.
That makes for a good fucking, what you call it, outtake or some shit like this.
Hey, welcome to ZILA Welds. ZILA's down here in Ark City, Kansas with me at Cali College and has been gracious enough to bring in some machines here, do a little pulse MIG on aluminum. I've had some material left over. I've had the same lectern podium in here in my classroom and it's annoyed me for so many years. I just wanted to create something different. He showed up the right time, man.
That's good.
I thought I'd box this in, Mr. Dakota Swanky came up with some brilliant ideas on kind of making it a roll around safe per se. We can lock up some camera equipment and roll it out here. We should be able to use it multi places, but we're going to frame this up out of some 3x5x1/4 aluminum. So what do we have working today besides a bottle of argon and
Bottle of argon, which we're going to share between the 3 welding machines. AC/DC TIG, 400 ampere, water cooled.
wow, 400.
400 on 3-phase, 350 on single, but we're on 3-phase. And then, what are you looking for?
Oh, I'm just checking out.
Thermaline 18, it's good for 350 amps, yes. You just run it anyways.
Okay.
300 ampere pulse make, water cooled. 200 ampere pulse make, not water cooled, air cooled actually, 035 wire. So we can do 1/4 inch, is about the most you want to do with a little 200 ampere. It does all right. And we got
You could do, I mean, even though you're saying that 1/4 inch, that's not a limitation to me anyway.
1/4 inch.
Just throw a little mild preheat on there, run multiple stringers.
You can do that, or you can up the wire size to like a 3/64 wire and go straight spray, no pulse. And then all of a sudden you're in the neighborhood of 3/8 on the rating. I want to say is a single pass, no gun manipulation. If you do multiple passes, if you do gun manipulation, you will increase that. If you do multi-pass, for sure you will do it too.
See a big need in that. I've cut and etched a lot of little giant welds, and they just don't seem to be that clean. The ones with the manipulation and everything. Pretty when you get the stacking stuff in there, but effectiveness, I don't see it. So,
and then
stringers.
We got the remote controls on our MIG guns, so we can set our overall heat, wire speed, and voltage at the same time on the gun while welding.
Okay.
So this is different than your father's or grandpa's school gun. This is, the future is here right now.
That's water cooled.
That's water
That
cooled.
seems to be nice and compact for a water cooled gun.
Yes, it's a 500 amp, 100% duty cycle gun. Special
I used
gas.
to have a 500 amp in here, Tweco, and that thing was heavy. It was big. It was huge.
And then the water cooler is on right now. You don't even hear it. There, it's water cooler on demand. It only really runs, the fan and the pump really only run when you're welding or another,
That's pretty quiet, too.
whatever time behind afterwards.
Okay. So, are these pretty close as far as the menus, or are they?
The menus are really close, and the name on the outside is really close, and that's kind of where it stops as far as what they are. This is a machine for, let's bring the camera close a little bit. So this is a machine with a regular dual drive feeder. It will do the 8-inch spools, and it will do 12-inch spools. This is a very compact machine to do repair jobs, mobile jobs. You want to turn anyways?
Yeah, that's pretty light. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, like 42 pounds without the wire. So with the gun and the wire, about 50 pounds. And typically what I do is, if I have a bigger job, we were talking about gun options earlier. What I do if I have a bigger job, I do a 25-foot gas hose, 25-foot power cord extension, and bring it in the dump truck bed with me, or wherever I need to go on the boat, so I don't have to put a spool gun or push-pull gun on, which you could.
Is this compatibility pin that you would plug a spool gun into, or is it a special?
So on this machine, you actually can remove this and remove that. That's the remote control. And your spool gun or your push-pull gun would plug right into here. You can either buy optional spool gun. And again, this is not like your grandpa's spool gun where you only can adjust your wire speed. You only adjust synergic. your entire parameters. You have hot start, you have crater fill, you have single pulse, double pulse, everything on the spool gun.
Crater fill.
Yes.
That's a big one in aluminum, I think.
So it's all coming out of the spool gun. 25-footer spool gun, no problem. 50-footer you could probably custom do. 18-foot push-pull gun, made in Germany, plugs right in here, gets the power out of there, has the remote control on it too, so as you weld, you can adjust your settings. And the accessories like the push-pull gun is interchangeable with the bigger machine. The bigger machine, you get all of this water-cooled. Water-cooled push-pull gun and water-cooled spool gun.
I don't think I've seen one of those. Have you?
No, I don't know.
Water-cooled spool gun.
Spool gun.
Have you welded with one yet? Or?
Yes.
To me, when I think of a spool
I
gun, it's like, I mean, unless you get some really light model, I've always thought of them as being cumbersome. They're weird, you know, you got everything up here.
So the neck is water cooled. So the neck is a little bit longer, the gas diffuser gets a little bit shorter. And the insulator is what holds the water at the same time. And you have two little lines about that size running back, a blue and a red, and it just hooks into the water cooler. And on the big machine, you can leave the spool gun plugged in while you have your main feeder going. So you can run like steel or dual shield on your main wire feeder. And then the spool gun can stay plugged in with a dual tank cart. You can run argon and you can run the 75-25 at the same time and just switch two buttons in the menu and switch back and forth.
Wow.
So if you are a truck repair shop that repairs a lot of trucks, mainly steel but an occasional aluminum toolbox, aluminum dump bed, aluminum whatever, and you don't do aluminum all day, every day in and out like a trailer manufacturer or boats manufacturer who probably has a push-pull gun. So that way you don't have to set up your push-pull gun every day new and run 26 feet of wire through the push-pull gun. You can have your spool gun for some little repair jobs here and there.
But you can also run small spools of stainless.
You could do that, yes.
So you'd have all three. You'd have some versatility. What we got here? The 400 amp TIG.
400 amp TIG. Should I get the thing closer again? Yes, probably. All right, 400 amp. 400 amp on three-phase, 350 on single-phase. Your duty cycle increases noticeably on three-phase. So 300 amps, 100% duty cycle on TIG. The water cooler, again, on demand. Fan and pump on demand. It's a smart cooler. As it runs out of fluid, let's say you have a leak, it's run out of fluid, to protect the torch, to protect the pump, the cooler communicates with the machine, turns your welding output off.
Well, it would need to, otherwise we're going to have a meltdown, huh?
Yeah, usually the power cable goes first. Ask me how I know.
Fuse link. In the old days, there was that fuse link. Remember those?
No. I know a power cable cost.
Yeah, if it
power cable cost about 130 bucks. That's what I know.
Yeah, we've been through a few of those.
So you have your, it's a stick welder. Stick welder, AC/DC stick welder, pulsed. It's a TIG welder, 2T, 4T spot, and reset is it's like a 4T. You can bump between two power levels. If you use a torch switch. In 4T, for example, you press it, hold it, it's on your starting current, you let go, it upslopes, and then on reset you can bump it to the lower power level and bump it back up to the higher, back and forth, and then you hold it, it slopes down, let go, pulse flow.
Interesting.
So now if you don't have a torch switch on here, the way how this machine is done is, you see the remote right now, the foot pedal is plugged in. If you go to spot welding, for example, see how it went from 4 amps starting amperage to 400 amps starting amperage. This is your max pedal, this is your starting amperage.
Wow.
And what happened is, normally on a 2T, you start at 4 amps and you can modulate the pedal all the way up to 400. Now that I'm in spot mode, see the remote is blinking? The foot pedal has no control over the amperage. You're only using the on-off switch in there. So you can...
Like a contactor just...
Yes, like a contactor. So instead of having to buy a torch button, you can use your foot pedal to do tack welds with a timer with pulse or without pulse, an AC, DC, at a preset time, preset amperage. You just mesh down the foot pedal. When the timer runs out, it turns off no matter if you're still in the pedal or not.
I have welded so very little with finger controls. I bet you, I just never have. Really?
Yeah.
Because of the nature of your work, or?
Well, in Europe, it's a big thing. I mean, I grew up in Germany, and you either have a torch switch, 4T, or the fancy people have up-down torches, a switch for on and off, and then one you press, every time you press, it's 3, 4, 5 amps up, and then, or you hold it and it decreases, increases. They don't even have like a wheel, they just have switches, up-down switches and an on-off switch.
I've just, for some reason, I've just never been exposed to that very much at all.
See, that's the thing. Americans love foot pedals, Europeans don't. It's coming there now, but
well, I mean, granted, you're kicking them around; they're always in the way. You're
but
in
then
some
every
area.
time you do an adjustment with a torch switch, you involuntarily move the torch too.
Yeah, well,
So
yeah.
I mean, there's no perfect scenario. But then, if you're kneeling on the valve cover of a Cummins N14 and you want to weld that 6-inch charger cooler pipe back in place that just cracked off, it's really handy to have up and down switches rather than working the foot pedal under your armpit while you're kneeling on the valve cover.
Right.
So
I hear you. They're hollering at your buddy. He's supposed to operate the foot pedal for you, and he's on the phone. Not paying attention. I've been in some strange places and operated them sideways between my legs, but I've never, I guess it's the nature of my work, not done too many finger controls. I am kind of like dying to put this thing together and do some tack level.
do it.
First, I wanna release 400 amps here and see what this is gonna do. Don't you?
Yeah.
So, am I ramping up? Am I on any kind of a program here?
No,
I'm just going.
you just go
And so, but I have 400 amps available to me?
Yes, if you start at 4 with your foot pedal, if you don't press it at all, you're gonna start at 4, and if you jam it all the way down, you're gonna be at 400. That's some
Better strap in there, Cupcake. I might blow right through this
Well, let me
piece.
see. 1/4 inch, you're gonna blow right through. Doesn't
Yeah.
have nothing 1/2 inch. And I think that probably your frequency is gonna be a little bit high, but you'll find out.
We got some dirty aluminum that didn't want to move. Wow, that's impressive. That's a lot of power.
Oh yeah.
A little pedal pulse there for giggles. That's crazy. This never really cleaned up. I need to get a sanding block on that or something.
So Bob, how do you like that HTP Invertig 400?
This thing is amazing. I mean, it is amazing. It is so crisp and hard right off the bat. I want to go 250. I need a little more oomph at the start. About 80. Nobody messed with this, did they?
No.
We're gonna recheck this. We on?
Yes, we're
All
on.
right. Well, let's commence to tack up here. We're gonna run this 400 amp machine. Tack up with. You got enough plate time in? You pretty confident?
Yeah.
You gonna burn the fitter?
I don't know, maybe. Been waiting on you for a while.
Oh, stop it. Like waiting on the camera guy, huh?
Yeah.
We got 7/16. And we got what? I thought you said 5 and 9/16 last night.
Yeah.
Well, I see something down there that this one needs to go out. I think both of them need to go out, but that is not 9/16, that's 7/16.4375.
Are these pieces the same length?
Well, no, because they're cut at an angle. I'm saying that one over there. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go bottom to top. We can take care of some of this flex. By the time we get there, we'll say that we're going to be what? Who set that in there? Huh? All right. Hey, remember, don't we have a piece going into that?
Yeah, we will.
I mean,
We got it
shouldn't
marked out.
we tack kind of inside, maybe? I don't know, it's up to you. Tack?
Don't you have to be lower there? Yeah. About 1/4 inch lower.
That's ready to tack.
No, measure from the bottom to here and from the bottom to there. I bet you this needs to come down 1/4 inch here. There you go.
Come here for one job and it's not working out.
There you go.
Oh, thanks, Peter.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Quit moving stuff around a little bit, Pete. Supposed to have some in. What did we say? 14?
14.
Okay.
They said there was a supervisor position available here.
Is he mumbling over there? Is he shouting all of a sudden?
So here we go, doing the other side, After the first half was done perfectly square and perpendicular and everything, just laying the other one on it and absolutely mirroring it. That way it assures that you have a nice and symmetric part where everything fits.
Oh, what do you do with my crescent wrench?
Right over you.
Oh, you're a good man. You're a good man. What'd you do with my little baby square? Not that pre-made one right over there.
Oh, the little guy.
No, not that.
Hey, there we go.
That's what I want. You might want to get that one first, because this will just bounce back and go nowhere to ride up on something.
You good?
Tie.
Okay, separating the two halves, standing them up, and then combining them.
Pulling dirt out pretty good
I know it is.
out of that joint.
Yeah, out of the metal itself.
Yep. I mean, the edges were clean the faces were clean pretty good, but the edges were not clean. They're all like dirty. It's all dirty shit. Yes. What did Bob have to say? What did Bob have to say? He likes it or not so much or what?
He didn't say much.
He don't give a fuck, huh?
No.
He's past that point. Well, your wells look better than mine. This is a going theme. So this guy from Indiana, Bob, that's the story you want to hear. Yeah, that's running. It doesn't matter. It's a good story. I look at this shit here and I said, well, your wells look better than mine. And I said, that's a going theme. I was a couple weeks ago. I was by Indianapolis. I stopped at Zach from Darlington Farms. He has a small YouTube channel. He's also gonna be for that class up there with us. And I showed him some pulse aluminum with the ProPulse 220, and he's doing this snowmobile transmission build-up thing because he's putting bigger gears in it or whatever he does. And I look at this shit. I said, dang, your shit looks better than mine. So that's a going theme. I go around, I show people how the machine works.
Yeah.
Next thing you know is they're well 3 times as good as I do.
You got it melted through over there.
Did I?
Yeah, on the outside. It's over there on the other side.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll repair stuff, dude. It's all right.
See, that's when you have junkyard workers working here, not like real professionals. I mean, look, this guy here, he has a Weld.com shirt. He's got to be professional. Yeah, well, that'll buff right out.
It'll buff out. There you go.
Buff
Yeah,
right out.
it'll buff. It'll buff.
At least it's not caved in, it's out. You can just buff it off. I can buff it off. It'll be fine.
We'll get it. We'll get it. I'm impressed with the starts. The starts
The
now,
hot start?
like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're right on the money. They don't spit spatter. They just
Yeah.
go, and that to me is impressive.
We started. All right. Man, those welds are pretty killer, man. I show you, and you taking it to the next level. You're doing much better than I do. So.
Well, I just walked in the door a little bit ago, and wow, the starts are like bang. They're just right on the money.
So that's
It's real nice.
We're using the ProPulse 220 MPS, and we have it in 4T mode. What happens in 4T, your trigger is reprogrammed. When you pull and hold, you're in hot start. So the machine gives you 30% more juice than you have selected. So the start is nice and crisp and burns in real hot, and when you see the puddle sinking, then you let go and you drop to your weld settings.
Okay.
So that way you have a nice crisp hot start because we haven't preheated the structure, and then you can with the slider additionally manipulate your settings overall.
While you're in that.
While you're in
4T.
that, yes, while you're in 4T.
And then
so
so what are you doing when you terminate? Because I noticed it came back out slow. You have that programmed or?
I'm just kind of letting off the trigger and tapering it down a little bit with the slider.
yeah, so you're tapering down with the slider. You can commit to a specific time from anywhere from 0.1 to 10 seconds for it to slope automatically.
Right.
Or if you say, I don't want to commit to a time because each joint is different than the next,
Right.
you can just take your remote control and pull it back and taper as steep or as gentle as you want to
Gotcha.
every time you want to do that.
So if you're doing piecework, you could fully just program this
Yes.
thing and, and make it taper out at a specific time, or do what he's doing. And
I had a guy who used the machine like this and put on the remote control plug-in, the A and B is the trigger, and actually like did a computer control thing where he was controlling the machine, everything was preset and just triggering the machine, not even with the torch trigger, and just welding piecework up like a CNC
Yeah.
deal. Yes, or you can do a full custom if you're on a boat, if you have a little bit of a gap, you need to lower your settings, you can do this all visually, you can read the puddle and see what you need to do.
well, I heard it when I walked in, and I thought, well, that's different. Different setup had to be. So, those starts are impressive sounding. Are you
Look how
pulling?
nice and flat
Are you
this
pulling
is, too.
slightly?
Yeah.
That's the glide.
You need to push. Aluminum, you always need to push.
Need to push 5 degree, 10 degree forward if you can. If you
25, 25 if you want to, no more than 45.
Yeah. Push. Oh, is that argon pre-cleans ahead? There's some samples of push and pull etched over here. One side will have porosity,
Yeah.
it'll have porosity here. The other side, minimal, if that. But that's what happened with the argon head of the wire.
Yeah, that's a stone-all debate on push or pull and what you have to do on which wire. On aluminum, it's definitely non-negotiable. It needs to be push.
Yeah.
And aluminum also, there is no vertical down. It's always vertical up, just like dual shield.
Yep. So it was interesting to read on some of that stuff last night for
For the flow meters?
yeah.